1, 2, 3, 4.
Chant down Babylon kingdom. Natty make we chant down Vatican now. Dangling, bling, chant down Babylon kingdom. Natty make we chant down Vatican now. Chant down Babylon kingdom. Natty make we chant down Vatican now. Dangling, bling, chant down Babylon kingdom. Natty make we chant down Vatican now.
What up, y'all? It's Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine. How you guys doing? It's episode 96. Calling this bad boy on third. That's on third, young man. I don't know why I threw a young man in there. Just an old, partially respectful gangbanger. That's on third, young blood. You know what I'm saying? But this episode's called On Third. But most importantly, how's your week been? How has your week been? I hope phenomenal. We've had some pretty warm weather here in Wisconsin. I could put you in a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin. Yo, he made Wisconsin okay for me. Because before that song came out, like, niggas would say Wisconsin. Oh, you're from Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? It was like an insult to how motherfuckers talk up here. It wasn't like a cool thing. But then when T-Pain talked about putting your ass in a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin, it was like, oh shit, he just made it cool. He just made it cool. And now they're going to book him at Summerfest. It looks like every year for the rest of his life. Congratulations to T-Pain. So my dumb ass, I tried to, I mentioned before I was trying to do like sound effects, gunshots and claps and shit like that in my drop. I was trying to put all that shit in there, but like my laptop sounded like it was going to explode. So I was like, oh shit, it just came to me when I was saying that thing about T-Pain there. I was like, oh shit, nigga, put the drops and shit in there. But still, even though it lets me put it in there, even though it lets me load the, I don't even know, the fucking sound set, the preset. It lets me load the preset in Impact. The pad doesn't work it doesn't play any sound when I press the buttons on the pad. And then when I click them just manually, I tried to just like load it in there all ghetto, some claps for that T-Pain part, and it just won't save anything from Impact right now. So yeah, it's just not fucking with this Atom for whatever. I don't know why that's the same thing. Maybe if I disconnected the app, but it's maybe later on, but not for right now. But it doesn't make any sense because if it didn't let me do it then, I doubt it would let me. Why wouldn't it save? You know what I'm saying? It should have saved. But that just pissed me off. I was like, why the fuck didn't it? Why didn't it save that? I just paused this just to throw that in there, just to see if I could put all my drops on there. I was like, oh shit, I'm on the Mac Mini. Let's put all the drops on there. But I fucking fucked up. I fucked up, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying, I hope your week has been good. The weather has been good here in Wisconsin. I'm going to give you guys the social medias. This is, if you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal accounts for whatever reason on Instagram and Twitter, it's at my name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. If you guys are on Xbox, go ahead and add me at SauceBoss414. If you guys are on Twitch, go ahead and add me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. Shout out to all the motherfuckers who were in there watching me play Civilization. I was playing a game of Civilization the other night, fighting off some insomnia, playing some Civilization, and motherfuckers were in there. I wasn't looking at the chat, so I don't know if motherfuckers was talking, but niggas was in there. Niggas was definitely in there. So, shout out to y'all if y'all was on that Twitch stream the other night. I fucks with Civilization. It's a good ass game. Go ahead and join the Discord at Babylon 5 Pod. If you guys want to go ahead and check out that merchandise, cop a t-shirt, some leggings, we got everything you need on there. I think we got baby clothes with my pretty mug on it, with the Babylon 5 podcast, logo. Go to teespring.com. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And don't just be my Negroes, be my patrons. Be my patrons. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod and be my patrons. And you get this episode the day I recorded, Sunday. I'm recording this. It's 3:50 right now. I was planning to record hours ago, but your boy drank a little bit last night and needed a little more rest than I was expecting. But here we are. Here we are, young lady. Here we are, all alone, you and me, privacy, and we can talk. What y'all know about 112? Nothing, youngster, young blood. Y'all know nothing about 112. Yeah, go to that Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. And if you guys are on TikTok, go ahead and add me at Babylon5Podcast. Just uploaded today the songs, or the beat Sunday. The beat Sunday. It just like, I be saying shit sometimes and then it be like popping out of my head. And it popped in my head today. Like, well, I saw Earl's Sweatshirt in a thing on YouTube and I was like, that made me think of like lo-fi hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, fuck. Didn't I say I was going to post like lo-fi beats every Sunday? Lo-fi Sundays, didn't I say that for like one Sunday? Maybe 2 months ago, nigga. I was like, fuck. I never kept up with lo-fi Sunday. So I made a Sunday beat today. And it made me, like in the hue of like a Earl's Sweatshirt type beat. You know what I'm saying? In the hue of something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So add me on TikTok at Babylon 5 Podcast. I be making them videos. Shout out to like Cotton Bros. I think that's probably the persons whose videos I use the most. And I've started to see like some of his pictures and shit, or their pictures, whoever the people are who does the shit. I've started to see some of their shit, their pictures for other people's advertisements. And then they'll put in like color schemes with the ad, whereas as if they fucking did it professionally. But because I use the same website, I see the sham. It's so weird. It's just like royalty-free pictures and videos. And that's what I use for like a lot of my Instagram videos is, well, when I make beats or when I upload beats, I just like grab some videos and sequence whatever I think looks cool together in iMovie. And then sometimes if I'm not being lazy, I'll put it into presentation and throw my my water stamp or my it's really my t-shirt logo, and I'll throw that on there in the corner just to like throw a stamp on it that I made it. But nigga, I made it. I ain't got time to prove to these niggas. Nigga, I made it. I ain't got time to fuck with you niggas. That's what I was doing at first. I was like, let me just do this so niggas know that I made it. But it's like, why the fuck else would I be posting this shit? if I didn't make this, is how I feel. But I've never really given credit to Cotton Bros on there. For the main reason is I don't want niggas just to know where. Like, this wasn't just like when I found that site, you know what I'm saying? I didn't just like, it wasn't just like a well-known thing to me. I stumbled upon it. And I don't see a lot of people using videos from it, especially not in the way that I am. So I'd rather keep my stash. I said it here, but, you know, y'all can use it if you want. Shout out to Cotton Bros. It's the person who's doing the videos, probably on, like, Instagram. Instagram, all that shit. Shout out to Cotton Bros. This past weekend... Well, it is this weekend. So we're not talking about the past weekend. We're talking about right now, my nigga. But yesterday, the wife and I, my lovely, lovely wife and I, we went out to this restaurant, Third Coast Provisions. I was like, yo, you trying to go to Dorsia? Like, cause like, I don't know, looks fancy. But in the time slot that I was trying to do it, or we were trying to do it, you know, as we're getting older, well, just naturally, why wouldn't we eat earlier? I think maybe younger motherfuckers would try to go like 7 or 8, but we was like, nigga, let's get that like 5:30. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that 5:30 kind of, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. But the fucking reservations was already packed at Dorsia when I looked, so I was gonna like book somewhere else, maybe like 5 o'clock steakhouse or some shit, and I was like, let me just ask my wife where she wants to go, and she's like, right away, like Third Coast Provisions. So we went to Third Coast Provisions, like, you know, why not? It's not too far from where we live. But it's pretty good food. I'm pretty sure their specialty is fish. We went down there, got oysters, my wife had the halibut, I had fucking scallops, with the risotto was fired, scallops were pretty tasty, my wife loved the halibut, she really loved that halibut, no, the food was cool, waitress was cool, all the servers was cool, as everybody was breezing by. Blonde Andy Sandberg was cool. Everybody was cool. Even as we was leaving, everybody was like, bye, thanks for stopping in. That's what everybody was saying as we were leaving, so, you know, it was a pretty good experience. The wife, ladies and gentlemen, the wife had a good time, and that's what's most important. The wife had a good time, so I had a good time. I'm one of those guys, all right? I'm a grown fucking man. And what was important on that day was that my wife had a good time. And she did. And I shall mention, as I said earlier, you know, I was going to record earlier, but I had I had 2 few brews last night. But also, I started the night with maybe 2 few dank-ass cocktails at Third Coast Provision. If you guys are thinking about stopping down, they got some pretty bomb-ass cocktails. Scallops are cool. I think my wife had she had there was like a crispy rice shit, like clumps or some shit, like crispy rice balls in the fucking, with the halibut, and it had like sauce in it. And I'm like, yeah, she was fucking with that. Like, as I'm describing it, thinking back, like, yo, that was fire. Cause she was saying, like, did you not, like, taste that? And, like, as I'm describing it right now, like, yo, that halibut was fire. With the crispy fucking They had like crispy like rice balls and this like creamy ass sauce with this fucking soft ass fucking butter soft ass hot halibut, my nigga. The butter soft halibut. Rest in peace to Charlie Murphy. That's random. But when I said butter soft, it made me think of just a scene from Black Jesus when Charlie Murphy's looking for his butter soft loafers that were supposed to be delivered from like Amazon or some shit that day. But I digress. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. But this was fire ass food. Once again, you know, this, I don't know if I've mentioned it here to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, but this is a real thing, all right? This is a true, listen to me here, this is a true fucking thing. Oftentimes, I go to restaurants with my wife, and she orders what she orders, I order what I order, and then we'll try some of each other's food, and it's like, why didn't I just order what she ordered? Because clearly, she knows what's good on this menu. It's not like my food is bad, but it's definitely the lesser option, you know. She spots it out. Just fire-ass food everywhere we go. So that's the running trend, and the trend continues, ladies and gentlemen. She gets the halibut. I picked the scallops like a sucker. They're good scallops. The risotto is fire. You know, it's good food. Good food. But I picked the scallops like a sucker while my wife had that fire-ass halibut. So, shout out to Sarah. She knows how to she knows how to pick them. All right? She knows how to pick them. Shout out to her. She's got great taste. Great taste. Impeccable. I would say she has impeccable taste at this point. For as long as I've known her, she's had impeccable taste in everything. For as long as I've known her. So, yo, shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. She had a great time, so I had a good time. Shout out to Third Coast Provisions. Y'all should definitely check that place out. Great food. Nice little boozy drinks. I don't know if you should necessarily bring the children in there, if you know what I'm saying. But because you got wild ass niggas like me getting drunk, I'm on my third cocktail. The stories are getting realer. There's no place for children. So that was the middle of Saturday. I don't budge, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in my 30s. I don't budge on my Saturdays most days. And I just I like to watch fights. I was like, nah, nigga, let's go get some food. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's in my mind. Like, nah, nigga, let's go get some food somewhere. Let's go out. Let's do some things. If I want to watch them fights, I can watch them fights whenever. And, but we got home and it was like, I think right before Chito Vera's fight is when we got home from dinner. So I got to see, like, the last few fights, the last 3 fights. I got to see, like, the first 3 or 4 fights. I missed 2 or 3 fights. Probably, 3 fights is all that I really missed, oddly enough. But when we got to the restaurant, there was, nobody else in the restaurant. I was like, oh, shit, this place I'm thinking, damn, I thought this place would be popping. But there's nobody else in the restaurant. And, there's nobody else in the restaurant. So, I'm like, oh, shit, this place ain't popping. So, we put our orders in, probably before anybody else. But, maybe 5 minutes after we got there, it started to fill in. A lot of people started to come in. And by the time we left, it didn't look like there was an empty seat in the house by the time we left. So, yeah. Make them reservations, my nigga. Make them fucking reservations. But as I was saying, Cheeto Vera, we got home, saw him fight. He won his fight. Shout out to Cheeto Vera. He busted up Davey Grant he cut him up pretty good. But Davey Grant was, he was a tough motherfucker. He was a tough motherfucker, so that was a good fight. Sergey Spivak beat Alexei Oleinik. Shout out to Sergey Spivak. In the main event, man, I went with Dan Ige. I was saying all the problems with Korean Zombie's fight style. He just comes forward, gets into these brawls, but I didn't mention getting into the brawls, I don't think, but they're just the whole chasing down. But this fucking fight, he made sure not to do that. He was more calculated. He was apparently leading up to the fight doing interviews saying how he wasn't going to be the Zombie that he was known for. He can't be that fighter anymore. And it's like, fuck, I didn't know he was addressing this glaring hole we see repeatedly. The whole reason why I was saying he was going to lose is because this kept happening every fight. And it was like, well, clearly they're not going to address it. And I didn't know that, like all week, he's been like, yo, we addressed this. And we're not going to fight like that anymore. So, Korean Zombie went down there. He got a lot of takedowns. He was takedown heavy. He gets the win by unanimous decision, I believe. Yeah, I think by unanimous decision. But I remember, it was, weird scoring. I think one of the judges had a 2-2 going into the fifth when it was clearly 3-1, if anything, if not 4-0. But Zombie wins. He dominates Ige. Ige was I don't know, man. I just thought Ige was just going to do a lot better there, but he was just getting pieced up from the outside, getting taken down. He's just getting beat up. He was letting Zombie dictate the fight, and Zombie just was the better fighter, man. He was better that night. So when that ended, so shout out to Zombie, though, because I didn't know he addressed it, and he really addressed some of the holes in his game. Let's see if it can hold up with a bigger fighter. He had the size advantage on Ige. Somebody, closer to his size who can really, hit him and hurt him. And, if he gets, let's see if he can keep that composure or get angry and revert back to the Zombie that we know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. But shout out to Zombie. I don't know who I'd like to see him fight next. Maybe Max Holloway, now that he's not fighting Yair. If they rebook Yair to fight someone else, maybe Max Holloway, but I don't know. So then right after that, at halftime, I was able to catch the second half of the Bucks versus the Nets, and it was a fucking close-ass game. Close-ass game. I don't know, I think at the end of regulation, they put the ball in Giannis's hand. He threw this, I think a turnaround jump shot for no reason. And it's bro, you're not known for hitting shots. But they gave it to Giannis, and he missed. So we went into overtime. I thought we were going to lose, though. There was a point at the end of regulation where Durant shoots a shot, and it counted as a 3 initially. But then they come back and say, nope, his foot was on the line. It's a 2-point shot. Had it been a 3, they would have taken the lead with 1 second left. But instead, it was a tie game with 1 second left. And then Giannis missed the shot with 1 second left to win the game. He was wide open, if I recall. It was a wide open, close range shot. And he missed it. Just trying to be fancy for whatever reason. But overtime comes. He shot the ball. And it bounced off the fucking shot clock. All right, there's 1 second left. They inball the ball. They get it to Giannis with 1 second left. And he throws up a shot and it bounces off the fucking shot clock. Why was the ball in his hand at the end of the game? He's not clutching these moments. He bounced the ball off the back of off the shot clock. Where were you shooting, bro? Middleton needs the ball, all right? He needs to have the ball in these situations. You know how I know that? Because he wins the fucking game. He comes up and he's hitting shots to win the fucking game. The Bucks eliminate Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. PJ Tucker fouled out pretty early in overtime. There was a moment in the game where PJ Tucker and Kevin Durant's mom had a little back and forth where apparently they were just telling each other that they love each other, which is a pretty beautiful moment. I didn't know, it was like, oh shit. I saw it and I was like, yo, he was talking to this woman and I was like, yo, that's Kevin Durant's mom is what I was saying to Sarah. And then the commentators was like, oh, I think there was a back and forth between PJ Tucker and Kevin Durant's mom. And then later on it came out that they were just telling each other that they love each other, which is pretty beautiful. But yeah, we fucking did it. Well, I thought it was pretty bad, all right, when PJ Tucker fouled out in overtime. But then Blake Griffin fouled out, and I was like, and it was like a minute and 25 left, and I felt like that kind of evened it out with Blake not being in the game. And we fucking eliminate the Nets, man. And now we will play either the 76ers or the Hawks. At this time, that game, the game 7 between the 76ers and the Hawks is at 7 o'clock tonight. And I was like, I'm not waiting till after that game just to give my prospect on who I think is going to win this series. Because my pick is always going to be the Bucks regardless. All right? My pick is the Bucks to win a fucking championship. No matter who's the opposition. So tonight we find out who they play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Either the 76ers or the Hawks. I think I'd rather play the 76ers, to be honest. You got fucking Embiid, who's injury prone. He's a beast, but he's injury prone. You got fucking Ben Simmons, who's afraid to shoot the ball, can't shoot the ball, can't hit free throws, but they're relying heavily on him. I'd much rather play the 76ers. So hopefully we get the 76ers. I don't know if we could stop the shooting of Trae Young. Have we been able to? I'm not sure, but it was a fucking beautiful night. Watching my Bucks eliminate the Brooklyn Nets, the Brooklyn Super Nets. It was a beautiful night. So congratulations to Giannis. Congratulations to Chris Middleton. Congratulations to Drew Holiday. Congratulations to the whole squad. Y'all earned that motherfucker. Y'all earned it. Dude, Rory and Maul, the new Rory and Maul podcast. Check that shit out. So there was the episode they put out where it was just the two of them talking, and it wasn't super exciting to me. I was saying to my wife, I don't know, they put out one, and it wasn't that cool, yada yada. But as I'm saying that, I go on YouTube, scrolling through, and I see that they dropped another episode, but this one it says is they're chilling with Earl Sweatshirt, Westside Gun, and Justice. I don't know Westside Gun or Justice, but I'm Earl Sweatshirt. That nigga don't really be doing press or no interviews and shit like that. But I'm yo, that's fucking, that to me says a lot that Earl was even there in the room, just talking, just chilling, smoking weed with Rory and Maul. And a lot of what Earl was saying to me, maybe I couldn't hear it, but it seemed pretty fucking incoherent. Seemed like a lot of gargled babble, and then he'd it was a lot of mumbles, and then he'd come to a conclusion. And I'd be like, okay, Earl. Because, you know, I'm one of them dudes that we thought Earl was the second coming of Jesus as far as lyrical rappers are concerned. When Earl came out, rawer than a skin kneecap. Wait, who the fuck I'm badder than? Boy, oh boy, I'm bad as burnt pollo off the grill and shit. Anywho, he just had the fucking masterful slow flow. Anywho, but he is a super recluse. And even in this whole podcast, he's like got his back turned to the camera for the most part. And it's just like smoking weed off to the side, like rolling up and smoking weed off to the side until he feels like chiming in. It was like super Earl shit. And then he would just go off on these nonsensical rants. And I'd be like, okay, Earl, I'm glad you're here, Earl. But that was fucking dope. So shout out to Rory and Maul for that. I didn't know, like, that they were going to come with some shit like that. I think I was seeing that. At one point they were saying in this interview with Westside Gunn, or just this podcast with Westside Gunn and Earl and them, they were talking about, like, how they always wanted to do things like that, but it would be getting shot down. And I'm like, that's fucking crazy, because this automatically, like, out of that crew, if I'm mixing in, like, the old Rory and Maul shit, like, just having, like, Earl there is fucking cool. But I don't even know if you could mix, like, the two energies of Earl and Joe and a fired-up-ass Joe Budden. Maybe they have and I haven't seen it, but I don't know how well that would mix. But I felt like Earl was in his element. Just being able to chill with his back to the camera and just speak this nonsense from time to time. I was like, all right, Earl. But I'm with the fucking content. Damn, is it raining outside? Or it's just loud-ass niggas? No, it says it's raining outside. Sounds like it's coming the fuck down outside. But yeah, no, if you guys haven't checked out the new Rory and Maul podcast, and you guys should check it out, man. This new episode with Earl Sweatshirt and Justice and Westside Gunn, it's just an interesting... It's dudes chilling, you know. I've always, like I like this whole me babbling myself thing, but I wouldn't mind doing something extra where I fucking talk with people. With, like, not just me one-on-one having an interview or something, but, like, just, like, a group of people that I fucks with. Just talking. Having conversation about real shit. Kind of like, you know, like, I don't know, like, almost like the barber shop, or the shop with, like, LeBron, like, something like that, you know? Just niggas having real conversations. Just sitting around having real conversations. Niggas that you vibe with. No bullshit. In MMA news, man, Luis Pena, a.k.a. Violent Bob Ross, was arrested for, it was called, like, sudden snatching, battery, criminal mischief. From what I was reading, he's looking at serving up to, like, 5 years if convicted. Like, it was either 5 to 7 years and I think like a $5,000 fine for these crimes. And I think it speaks... Well, I saw a statement where he was saying, like, he's dealing with all these mental health issues. But, man, it's like... I wonder if the UFC fighters were paid a little more. If you see this man being arrested for robbery, a fucking... How many fights has he had in the UFC? 4 or 5? He's out here robbing motherfuckers in the street? That's odd. He's like 27 years old. It's not like, oh, he used to do that. I feel like I just watched him fight like a month or so ago. For the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched you fight for the UFC, and now you're fucking robbing somebody in the street? Why do you need to do that? The optics, to me, should seem like someone in that position wouldn't wouldn't feel the need to put themselves in that position. That's what the optics should look like, but that's not the situation as we know. Some like real heartwarming moment for me personally, get Chris Weidman doing like a podcast or interview with Anderson Silva. And they're talking about how, they both had the same leg break, and Anderson Silva broke his leg against Chris Weidman, if you guys are unfamiliar. And Chris Weidman was saying how he wants to apologize, and Anderson Silva cuts him off. He's like, you don't have to apologize. He's like, it's just a fight game, man. It's all business. He's like, I respect you. I know you respect me. You didn't know I was hurt right away. So, he was like, when you circled around me, but then you saw, that I was holding my leg, and then you saw what was going on. He's like, so, you don't need to apologize about what happened. And then, but Weidman's like, nah, man, I got to get this off my chest. He's like, because after Anderson Silva broke his leg, after Weidman checked that kick, he said people would, fans would ask to take pictures with him in the pose as if, he's checking a leg kick. The pose of what broke Anderson Silva's leg. And he said at first he didn't do it, but then after a while, time moved on. He was just like, fuck it. And he started to take these pictures with people mocking of when Anderson Silva broke his leg against him. And he's like, and as he broke his leg and he's laying there in the octagon, the first thing he thought of was Anderson Silva. And he said then the pain starts to hit him, starts flooding in, and he starts screaming. The pain floods in. And now he's going through this process of trying to get back. And he's thinking about how he took those pictures and was openly mocking Anderson Silva. And he's now he's going through it. And he sees it just exactly the kind of shit Anderson had to go through, Anderson's family had to go through, and at that age, the whole mental game of, will I ever be able to do this again? That whole aspect of it. It was just a real touching moment to me, and he just mentioned that, and he just wanted to apologize. You know what I'm saying? That he ever did any of that, or just you know what I'm saying? Just for the whole situation, it was just real touching. Just for those two to have that conversation. They said, Anderson reached out after Weidman broke his leg. Then he called him, was giving him advice on, how he can get back. Saying he could get back in the gym in 4 months. But, two guys that were once rivals. Weidman will always be known in history as the guy who beat cocky Anderson Silva. And now they're bonded over these freak accidents that happened to both of them. But it was a pretty beautiful moment, I felt like. And then to top off the weekend for Anderson Silva, he wins his return to boxing. He defeats Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. by unanimous decision. He was getting praise from Canelo Alvarez. He was in there doing, the usual Anderson Silva shit, backing up in the corner and just come on, trying to goad him on to come, just reckless. He's on that typical Anderson Silva shit, and he won. So, shout out to Anderson Silva. He's having the best weekend ever. Next week we got UFC Vegas 30. I'm in my 30s. That's what these UFC Vegas is. They're in the 30s. I think I'm correct. Right? They're in the 30s. The UFC Vegas. It's just counting up for the UFC Vegas. The UFC fight nights are at another number, and typically it would have been fight night, blah blah blah. but when they were traveling, you know what I'm saying? Typically, that's what it would have been, but since COVID and they've been staying in Vegas, we're counting up. So this is UFC Vegas 30. They're in their 30s, ladies and gentlemen. And then it's headlined by Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. And this is going to be a fucking great fucking fight. I don't think this is going to be a fight for the fucking casuals. I think this is going to be more of a chess match, ladies and gentlemen. What I find really interesting about this fight here, Alexander Volkov is 6'6". Cyril Gane is 6'3". So there's 3-inch height discrepancy. But Cyril Gane has the reach advantage at 81 inches. He has the 1-inch reach advantage on Alexander Volkov. And I feel like, personally, from just what I've seen sitting here in my man cave, I feel like Cyril Gane is the more sophisticated striker. I think he's got more weapons. I think he's got better footwork. And they both like to fight at range. And I didn't realize that Gane would have just a slight reach advantage, but this is going to be a real interesting fight, especially for the diehards. I don't think this is going to be, like, if you think, oh, it's going to be two heavyweights and they're just going to be in a slugfest, that's not what you're going to get from these two people. At least that's not what I think from these two fighters. No, this is going to be a chess match in there. So take it as you will. I think this is going to be a great fight. Whoever wins this should be, like, maybe next in line after Francis fights Derek Lewis. And I would love to see Cyril Gane versus Francis. And that is actually my pick for this fight. I think Cyril Gane is just going to be just a little bit more sophisticated. And if he's able to find his range early in the striking, then I think he's going to be able to outpoint Volkov. I don't think there will be a stoppage here. I don't think it'll be like crazy high action. I think it'll be a point fight. Back and forth point fighting. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm not trying to disrespect Volkov at all. I think he's an absolute monster. He could definitely win this fight. I don't see it as one-sided for either fighter, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see it as one-sided. But my pick, I think, in this fight that that I see as being a very technical, shot for shot. Not throwing a lot. I don't see people throwing a lot in this fight. I think like real calculated throws. It's gonna be a fucking chess match. But I think I'm gonna go with Cyril Gane. That's who I'm gonna go with in this fight here. Man, I was like looking at this script and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a short episode. But then I was like, nah, usually when I say that, I'll be in here talking for like over an hour. And here I am. Like when I started talking about Cyril Gane, I was like, oh shit. Holy fuck. We're getting pretty we're at the end of the script here. But I did write another topic to talk about, but I was like, I don't know. Now let's talk about it. So they just came out with this Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 73. And so this character Granola, I was starting to feel this like early on when they were like, oh, he's got eye that he can like see things like really well with. Like he's got a super eye, like an eye ability. I was like, oh, that's something like Naruto. You know what I'm saying? They had people like Neji, Sasuke, all these people who had special eyes that only their race of people could do. And now they're saying, so in this episode, this chapter 73, they're establishing that it's not just a thing that Granola could do, but since he's like the last survivor of his race of people, like everyone in his race of people have this special eye made for sniping, yet somehow they were all wiped out. the special eyes especially made for sniping. Why weren't you able to see this shit coming? But because he's able to see shit, he's able to hit people from super far away. So I see a plot hole there. That's pretty silly. But once again, the Saiyans with this unlimited fucking potential, it looks like, how weren't people able to get a lot stronger than they were, like, even back then? I don't know, it's pretty weird. With a whole planet of niggas. But yeah, I think they're pretty much just stealing, if not paying homage or showing respect to Naruto with the character Granola. So he's, with this whole eye thing, it's like, oh shit, that's stolen from Naruto or taken straight from Naruto, his special eye abilities, where he can see vital points just like Neji, is what they're saying. He could see all the opponents' like veins and their vital points and know exactly where to hit them to shut them down, like with one hit. He can see that just like Neji. Neji would use his special eyes, see all your vital points, and use the 36 chine or whatever and just hit you in all those spots. And then you fall down. You couldn't use any of your fucking power because he just hit you in all your fucking vital points and shut all that shit down. So that, to me, I'm like, damn, that's straight out of Naruto again. But then they reveal, so Goku's fighting Granola. He was fighting Granola in chapter 72, getting beat up. And then he transfers, powers all the way, like full power, Ultra Instinct Goku. And Goku's beating this nigga up. You know what I'm saying? And then they reveal that, like, actually, you're not fighting me, you're fighting... He was like, I just used some of my power and made a clone. So he just somehow knows how to make a fucking shadow clone? That's fucking taking from Naruto. You guys just took something else from Naruto for this character here. Like, it's like so many concepts they're taking from Naruto. Like, I don't know if they're just intentionally trying to, like, steal from Naruto with this shit here, but they keep doing Naruto shit with Granola. Like, it's pretty weird. You niggas fighting a shadow clone. He was like, nope, this isn't even the real Granola. And then he just fucking, like, he fucking disappears into smoke like a shadow clone. And then the real fucking Granola one-hit KOs fully powered up Goku. And just declares, like, I knew I just had to wait, because once you powered all the way up to a level I've never seen before, using a form I've never seen before, I knew it was just a matter of time, and then you'd be less accurate with that ability. How would you know that? You nigga, you just got here. How would you know that? This is a move, ladies and gentlemen. Ultra Instinct is a technique that Goku just fucking unlocked in the Tournament of Power. On some humbug ass shit. Goku just unlocks the fucking Ultra Instinct, right? On some humbug shit. And when he unlocks this, ladies and gentlemen, there's gods of destruction there who have no idea what the fuck is going on. They're sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Why is he, like, moving so fast? How is he doing this? It's like his body is just moving on its own. There's fucking gods of destruction that had no idea of what the fuck was going on. And yet, in the very first fight with Granola, he already knows the limitations of an ability that he's only seen for like 30 seconds. Goku powered up, was like, I'm at full power, but I can only do it for a short time, so I'm gonna end this fight quickly. And then homie comes back, he starts whooping dude's ass for like real quick. And he was like, yo, I'm a clone. And then Granola knocks Goku out and was like, I knew you were gonna get less accurate in that form. I just had to wait it out. It's like, who told you that? How didn't you know that form wasn't going to get more accurate as we go on? How did you just know this? That there would suddenly be an opening while he's still in that form. Like, they just threw that out there. That was pretty weird. But they got the real Granola out there, which is Naruto ripoff. He just knocked out fully powered Goku. And now you got Vegeta talking shit like he's about to fucking kill Granola. Let's be real here, man. Like, I feel like without Ultra Instinct, Vegeta could get Goku, alright? In a one-on-one. Vegeta would win right now. But with Ultra Instinct, Vegeta can't win that fight if Goku uses Ultra Instinct. So, he just one-hit KO'd Goku while in Ultra Instinct. And now they got Vegeta and they're like, oh, I'm about to, the only race that's about to go instinct is the Cerulean race. Like, he's saying he's about to kill this nigga after he just saw him one-hit KO Goku. I don't know where this confidence is coming from, but if history tells me anything, it's not going to end too well for Mr. Vegeta here. It's interesting, though, because, like, one, they had out of nowhere fucking Granola using a move that was like a Hakai. They're like, yo, that shit's like destruction. All of a sudden, he was using shit that, like, I think it was maybe, like, instant transmission. All of a sudden, he didn't know how to, like, sense power levels. Frieza had to teach himself how to sense power levels. After meeting the Saiyans and shit, he had to teach himself how to do this. Granola just suddenly knows how to do it. Like, after coming into this new power, after making a wish, he suddenly knows how to do all these abilities. And they mention, oh shit, he can do, like, destruction. Suddenly, he can do, like, a God of Destruction technique. And then, like, fucking, he uses, like, some power to make, like, lava shoot out of the ground, which is a technique that Moro used. Why? How come he can use these random... It makes no sense that he can just use these other people's fucking abilities, or he just knows randomly how to use these abilities because he suddenly he made a wish to raise his power level, and now all of a sudden he just has the knowledge of, like, god level techniques. You know why Moro used that lava technique? That was part of his magic. He knew he was magical. He was a wizard. He used magic to make lava shoot out of the sky. That's why when Vegeta was beating him up and he drained Moro of all his, like, ki that he stole, Moro was able to shoot lava out of the earth with his magic. And now they just showed fucking Granola using that same magic technique. What the fuck is this? Granola makes no sense. They've absolutely overpowered this character at this point. And now, for whatever reason, Vegeta's feeling confident. I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You guys are doing way too much with Granola at this point. He shouldn't, like, he could be powerful. He should have his own moves, but he shouldn't be using the exact moves that we know. It doesn't make any sense for him to know. He should not know Hakai, which is a move that Vegeta was literally just taught by a god of destruction. He was literally just shown how to do this move. And somehow, Granola, who was not shown this move, masters it instantly without ever knowing it. And all of a sudden, he can do magic. He can use magic without ever knowing how to use magic. Just in a day, he knows how to use magic. What the fuck? Y'all doing too much with Granola. You're doing too much. But hopefully I'm wrong and Vegeta whoop that ass. We'll see. But I'm going to give you guys social medias. If you want to follow this podcast, it's a short episode this week. Or, I guess it's a decent sized episode after I threw in that Dragon Ball Super in there. So glad I wrote that in the notes. But I try to give y'all a decent, at least an hour. Try to give you at least an hour. Every time we get up in there, I try to give you at least an hour. So, and now we about there. So I'm going to give you guys social media. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can listen to this or you can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, my nigga. Pretty much anywhere podcast stream. And if you guys are on Xbox, go ahead and add a brother at SauceBoss414. And if you guys are on Twitch, go ahead and add me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you guys are on Discord, join my Discord at Babylon5Pod. And you guys can go ahead and buy some t-shirts, rep this shit at from teespring.com/stores/BOFpod-shop. And don't just be my Negroes, be my patrons. Be my patrons. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod and go ahead and add me on TikTok at Babylon5Podcast. This is episode 96 on third. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed you guys, and I will see you when I see you. I'll holla.
Chant down Babylon kingdom, team make we chant down Vatican now. Bang the ling, chant down Babylon kingdom.